Good evening, everybody. The doors of the kingdom are open at one of our favorite locations. Another great crowd on hand, braving the bitter cold. We're at Dave & Buster's. This is our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. Dave & Buster's, of course, located in the Legends area, just across the street, basically, from the Kansas Speedway. We do have some room in here tonight if you want to come join us here later in the show here at Dave & Buster's. A great place to watch football with the bowl games coming up and the playoffs headed here and some big NFL games. $3.50 Bud Lights and $5 apps. Always here at Dave & Buster's, and they have been a mainstay for us during this outstanding 2013 Kansas City Chiefs year. The score just in. Breaking news here. Kansas City 45, Washington 10. Nothing like jumping off to a 31-0 start and then just riding it home. And a great job by our guys and the football team, entire team, in playing in tough conditions. Snow, ice, sleet, rain. It was a very difficult day yesterday at FedEx Field, and the Chiefs took him out in that game. Very special guest tonight. We picked him up in the offseason. He had a lot of places he could go. A lot of teams were coming after him as he left the Philadelphia Eagles. But he's been here. He's our double nickel. Our guest tonight, later on in the show, number 55, linebacker Akeem Jordan. Pride of Harrisonburg, Virginia. Okay, we got a great group of folks here again on hand tonight. The Metcalf Bank Geeks are here at the special suite built right here in the middle of Dave & Buster's. The Red Coaters are here, the leading service arm of the Kansas City Chiefs. We appreciate them. Susie Bling Bling is here. Kent the Cake Baker, the Savage is here. All the group from the Taj Mahal Tailgaters. The Geeks are here. Snowstorm Sandy, of course. Autograph Geek, Sling Blade Geek, Weird Wolf is here. Cindy Lou Who is here, which is good to see. Also, the Queen of Hearts, Reed's Redheads, well represented. Where's Emma? Emma, one of our co-captains of the Reed's Redheads. Wave your arm there, 7-year-old Emma. Also, the Wolverines, part of that Reed's Redhead group. The Irish Brigade is here tonight. And we want to say hello to Lieutenant Colonel Chris McGowan, who's in Korea, I'm sure, listening to us this evening. The Hard Hats girls are here. Casey Chef is here. The Red Hots. Also, the Lake Lotawana Lake Rats. Big Daddy Lake Rat is back from his sabbatical in Aruba, wherever he went. And Big Chief Eric is here along with the Red Guard. So we appreciate all of you coming out tonight. As you know, the Chiefs Kingdom, we try to set the tone for the entire week. And we've got our Chiefs Kingdom traditions. We're also joined by Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, as it's on video this year. The Book of Sealed Signatures, dug out by archaeologists, signed by several hundred Chiefs fans when it appeared to be the darkest. That will be open when the Chiefs win a postseason game, and won't that be a fabulous night? And when you beat a team 45-10, it gets you set up for a special week, because everybody knows this is Raiders Week, and the Chiefs will try to sweep the Raiders for the first time in a long time. And to do that, they like to do what they did yesterday in beating the Washington Redskins 45-10, because it'll be time to put the hammer down, particularly with guys like Akeem Jordan, who makes his first Chiefs Kingdom appearance tonight, and he will be holding the hammer for the first time here for the show, but he does it every week for our defense. Special group is also braving the cold here tonight from Topeka. They came over for the show, so kind of guys' night out for those dudes coming over, so we appreciate them coming here to Dave & Buster's. Again, we're at Dave & Buster's, located in the Legends area, just across from the Kansas Speedway, as the Chiefs get ready to go for win number 11 on the season against the Raiders. All right, yesterday, a historic performance, because Dexter McCluster set an all-time Chiefs record for punt return yardage. He did it in the first half of the game. He had a 60-yarder we'll talk with Andy Reid about. He also had a 74-yarder. Those plays were huge. And then the Redskins start to get a little sass. They get it back to 31. They scored 31-7. They think they're going to jump back in the game. And Quentin Dempps decides to go 95 yards for a touchdown. That play on the kickoff return was huge. And the Chiefs run away and hide from the Redskins by a score of 45-10. The mastermind of that win yesterday is the mastermind of this turnaround, which is the greatest in NFL history, quite honestly. And we're still in the midst of it with the best days to come. Andy Reid will join us from his office at 1 Arrowhead Drive when we return. Again, we're at Dave & Buster's, where you can get $3.50 Bud Lights and $5 apps when you watch football here on Sundays. And we'll be back with Andy Reid and more after this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Why not let jazz cook for you?
Laissez-les bon temps rouler. Hey folks, Papa Vic here to talk about what's new at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. The economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall to come to Jazz, I guarantee. Don't forget, All American Tuesdays, where the best dish in KC is half price. Looking for live entertainment? Nobody in town plays more live music than Jazz. Check out our website, jazzkitchen.com, for daily band listings. Both locations, the original on 39th and State Line, and at the Legends in Village West. Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
Some of the best teams in the world are in Kansas City. The Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting, and the Border Patrol.
The Border Patrol? St. John and Bucati? Those two guys couldn't hold on.
Easy there, fellas. We may not be the two godfathers of Kansas City sports like you guys are,
but we do know how to have a good time talking sports.
And having a good time like Gary Lezak has a good time.
Make the Border Patrol a part of your morning, just like I do.
Watch Sports Radio 810's Border Patrol, weekday mornings from 7 to 8 on 38 The Spot.
Charles gets it again, scores two, and breaks a tackle on the secondary, now breaks two, now three, he's on his feet, and finally gets nailed, but he's into Redskin territory, and Charles gets up, hopping and skipping, like he's headed to Grandma's house. It's a 33-yard run, breaking tackles by the toughest runner in Chiefs history. Oh, man is right. Well, what a day he had yesterday. Jamal Charles and our guys just seem to be handling the elements way better than the Redskins did yesterday. We'll talk about that with Andy Reid in just a second. Again, this is our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. Another fabulous crowd. Thanks for braving the cold and getting out here tonight. Again, we're at Dave & Buster's. Again, one of our favorite locations. We're located in the Legends area just across from the Kansas Speedway. We've got $3.50 Bud Lights on Sundays here, plus $5 apps. Great place to watch football. A great game to watch yesterday, and the mastermind of that is the head coach of your Kansas City Chiefs. What a difference he has made. Got to be the NFL Coach of the Year. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Reid joins us tonight on the Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks, Mitch. And thank you, Coach, and thanks for being with us, and thanks for that win yesterday, 45-10 over one-year-old NFC East nemesis, the Washington Redskins. Now, I'm going to start backwards in this game. I usually save to ask you about the lines or special teams at the end of the discussion, but I want to start with those guys tonight, particularly on the offensive line. You know, I don't get excited easily, but when I watched the tape of the game and I saw what those offensive linemen did, Andy, was it a statement by those guys to say, bad conditions, it's our line of scrimmage, you can't have it, and it seemed to start
Well, they did, and you know, Andy Heck and Eugene Chung do a nice job with that group, coaching them, and then Rodney Hudson has really taken over as a leader amongst that group, and it's important to have your center be a leader, but that's not always the case in the National Football League. But we've got one right there with Rodney, and he gets those guys going, and they play good, solid, tough football.
Donald Stevenson gave you 3 good weeks at right tackle. Then you asked him to play left tackle. What about his work at left tackle yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he did a nice job. We all have room to improve, but I would tell you that he played well. I mean, you're considering that this kid's literally a kid. I mean, he's a second-year player, and he's able to step in at the right side first and then just have the versatility to flip it over and play on the left side and compete against a pretty good defensive end. So and a racket post. So I thought he did a nice job.
And the local kid here ended up playing high school at Blue Springs, of course, the awesome team this year that they had, but then before that at Central High. All right, your defensive line now, when I watched the tape, I was impressed with those guys. DeVito just seems to do the dirty work along with Tyson Jackson. I know there were 6 sacks, but what about those guys setting the tone early in that game with the bad weather and the fact that Alfred Morris really did not get going downhill in the running game?
Well, right. I mean, starting with the first part of that is, when RG3, when he drops back, not only can he throw the football, but he's also a heck of a dynamic runner with the football. So you've got to maintain the integrity of your lane as you rush the passer. And I thought the 3 of them, the 3 inside guys, I mean, Poe's playing like a Pro Bowler and this year and doing just a great job. So it starts with him, but then the other 2, they have to maintain their lanes, and that what that does, it allows the outside pressure to come in and doesn't allow the quarterback to step up, either throw the ball or run the football. And all 3 of those guys did great there, and then the run game, they just formed a wall, and it was quite impressive.
It was awesome to see it on tape, awesome to see it live as well. And then you jump back in getting the 6 sacks. I know you blitzed into a couple. Tamba got a couple. He's now 3rd in Chiefs history behind only the late Derek Thomas and Neil Smith on the sack total. Zombo gets in on the act. What about your ability to get pressure on RG3 and Cousins?
It was great. Tyson got a couple, and I think Barry was in there on 1 or 2. I mean, there was pressure coming from all over the place, and you've got to be able to do that against good quarterbacks. And we not that we were late getting there against Peyton, but he got the ball out so quick it was hard to get to. But you got to find ways to pressure quarterbacks in this league, and then you can neutralize some things, and we were able to do that yesterday.
And then special teams. It was a memorable day. You were on the cusp of setting NFL records in the return game. Let's start with the punt return game first. McCluster sets a team record for a game in the first half, but he set a tone with that 60-yarder no score, and then that 74-yarder to come back with a touchdown. That play was huge. What about McCluster and the return game in the punt return game?
Well, just for the redheads in there, you just notice that the last quarter of his dreads are red. Just know that. And that gives him that little bit of an advantage when he's returning those punts.
Yeah, that's red dreads for Reed's redheads. So the dreads are red.
That was quick. Yeah, that was good.
Well, Emma's here tonight. She's co-captain of the Reed's redheads. She likes the red dreads from Dexter. But then you get a kickoff return for 95 from Demps. Like to see him making a habit of that. And Washington showed a little spunk there. They go down and get a touchdown. How important was that? Because it just kind of took the air out of their lungs after that.
Well, it did. They were trying to flip momentum there. Normally a team will have kind of one push if they're behind like that and try to equal or at least level the table somewhat. And that was their push, and then we were able to counter with that return. And Demps, I thought, did a nice job. I told him he made up for the touchdown that was caught the play before. So in an instant, he changed things around, not only for our team, but for his own psyche there. So it worked out okay.
Keeping him balanced. I like that. What about your quarterback, Alex Smith, and handling those elements? And how bad was it from an element standpoint?
It was a unique game. It started off as snow and then finished as ice, and things got a little bit slippery down there. The field got a little bit sloppy, and which happens with the inclement weather. But I thought the guys, they handled it well. Alex, who has to handle the ball along with Rodney every snap, I thought they handled it well. We didn't have a lot of problems with exchanges, handoffs, and or throws. So I thought Alex was able to manage that very well.
Just his toughness, man, and his leadership is just so fun to have him around, and every day him having an impact. Okay, time to transition here. 3 more games in the regular season, and I really thought that we could sit here and say that you had sealed a playoff bid, but Baltimore had a crazy comeback win in their game, and so did Miami against Pittsburgh. So that being said, now you head for this week, and this week it's Raiders week. What about taking on the Oakland Raiders and trying to sweep the Raiders this year?
I heard you throw that Raider in there. I got it. So, in tribute to Al, I got it.
Okay.
The Raiders are a good football team. The record isn't what they want it to be. Their defense is playing very good football, and their offense has been doing very well too. They were banged up a little bit this past week against the Jets. They'll probably get some of their runners back there, and one had 140 some odd yards. But anyways, I think they'll probably be a little healthier this week than what they were last week. So we'll make sure we prepare ourselves to play them. It's always a little tougher when you're on the road and in the Coliseum there, and so we've got to make sure that we prepare ourselves for noise and that whole deal, and then go in there and just play and play Chiefs football, which is important that we do. Let our personalities show and go play.
Just got this question handed from the live audience. I'm going to come from Reed's Redheads. They're asking, when are you going to come to this show live?
I think my value is probably more valuable here, although I'd love to be there. So the Redheads fired me up, man. They're awesome. I appreciate the pictures that you let me have of you guys, and I have those right in my office here. So you're strong. I appreciate that.
I want to ask you about the injury situation. First, let's start with Marcus Cooper. He goes down with the back bruise. What is his status going into the Oakland game?
Yeah, really, the guys coming out of the game, the guys were pretty healthy. He's feeling better today, and he'll practice on Wednesday unless there's some crazy setback. But right now he feels good, so he'll be out there Wednesday. I don't think I think everybody that played in the game will practice once Wednesday starts. The three guys that we mentioned that missed the game, we're taking it day by day, so we'll just see how they do.
And Marcus, I saw him because our guest here tonight is a young man that was with you in Philadelphia, and you brought him with you basically to come here to Kansas City. But I saw Akeem make some key blocks on those kick returns when I watched the tape. And then I saw Marcus Cooper make a block. He jacks a guy to let Dexter get to the edge and get the return on the punt return. What about some of your starters that maybe I've overlooked or we've overlooked as fans who contribute on your special teams?
Yeah, well, there are a couple of them. Akeem's one of the best in the business out of it. He was that way for the years that we were together in Philadelphia. And then you saw the tackles he made in the game. I mean, he really had one of his better games yesterday. Nobody mentions him because he's right in the middle there, but he ended up, I thought, having a tremendous football game and then contributed also on the special teams. But there are several guys that are very unselfish. They want to be out there at all times, and they kind of follow Akeem's lead there.
Well, it's perfect timing then. Akeem will be our guest here after we let you go. One final question is just I try to impress upon our fans all the time that it takes a village to build a winning football team. But yesterday I saw you guys not only prepared physically for those elements and not easy, but from an equipment standpoint, when I watched them on the tape, it's like you had better footing. It's like Washington was slipping around. But you guys, from an equipment standpoint, seem to be prepared. What about that decision, and how much more prepared were you guys, not only physically from the way you approach it, but just in how you handle the elements with the equipment?
Yeah, well, Alan Wright, who's been on your show, did a great job with that, and his guys. They sourced out all the all the cleats on the players who put in longer ones. They have a little drill bit that they zip them in and zip them out with, and they lined them all up and got them switched over before the players went out for the game. And I thought that was important, an important part of that game. As the weather continued throughout the game, we were able to maintain our footing, and we didn't have a lot of players slipping, and it paid off for us with some nice cuts in the run game.
You've got a great crew of guys and gals that help you win, Andy, and it's awesome, man. This is a lot of fun. We'll let you go into the night. Just to remind you again, I think Andy knows this, but it's Raiders week, and it'll be time to put the hammer down. Andy, thanks for being with us tonight. We'll go get them.
All right, Mitch. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the fans, too.
Andy Reid, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. When we come back, number 55 in the middle of that defense and also some awesome special teams plays is our guest tonight. We're glad he made the decision to come to Kansas City. Akeem Jordan will join us in our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. We're live at Dave and Buster's just across from the Kansas Speedway in the Legend area. We'll be back after this. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football.
Some of the best teams in the world are in Kansas City. The Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting, and the Border Patrol.
The Border Patrol? St. John and Bucati? Those two guys couldn't hold on.
Easy there, fellas.
We may not be the two godfathers of Kansas City sports like you guys are,
But we do know how to have a good time talking sports.
and having a good time like Gary Lezak has a good time.
Make the Border Patrol a part of your morning, just like I do.
Watch Sports Radio 810's Border Patrol, weekday mornings from 7 to 8 on 38 The Spot.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let jazz cook for you?
Laissez les bon temps rouler. Hey folks, Papa Vic here to talk about what's new at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. The economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall to come to Jazz, I guarantee. Don't forget, All American Tuesdays, where the best dish in KC is half price. Looking for live entertainment? Nobody in town plays more live music than Jazz. Check out our website, jazzkitchen.com, for daily band listings. Both locations, the original on 39th and State Line, and at the Legends in Village West. Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let jazz cook for you?
Laissez les bon temps rouler. Hey folks, Papa Vic here to talk about what's new at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. The economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall to come to Jazz, I guarantee. Don't forget, All American Tuesdays, where the best dish in KC is half price. Looking for live entertainment? Nobody in town plays more live music than Jazz. Check out our website, jazzkitchen.com, for daily band listings. Both locations, the original on 39th and State Line, and at the Legends in Village West. Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let jazz cook for you?
Laissez les bon temps rouler. Hey folks, Papa Vic here to talk about what's new at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. The economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall to come to Jazz, I guarantee. Don't forget, All American Tuesdays, where the best dish in KC is half price. Looking for live entertainment? Nobody in town plays more live music than Jazz. Check out our website, jazzkitchen.com, for daily band listings. Both locations, the original on 39th and State Line, and at the Legends in Village West. Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
With the interception, and when you watch it back on tape, I don't think RG3 ever saw it. It looked like the play was wide open, and then Batman swoops in there and heads up down the field. I thought he was going to go pick six again, but anyway, that set up another touchdown for Kansas City as we jump on the Redskins 31-0 and go on to win by a score of 45-10 yesterday at FedEx Field. And before I go any further, we're not far here from Sporting KC Stadium, right out here at the Legends area. A big congratulations to the MLS Cup winners. Sporting KC winning 7-6 on the PKs. That was unreal. That was huge. And so they have the MLS Cup. and they have set the tone now for the next 4 to 5 to 6, dare I say 7 or 8 weeks coming up. As again, we're at the our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show with Dave and Buster's, located in the Legends area, just across from the Kansas Speedway. You get $3.50 Bud Lights here when you watch football on Sundays, plus $5 apps. Okay, in the off season, the Chiefs were trying to build their roster through a variety of ways, and one of the big ways, of course, was free agent acquisitions. We made several significant moves that turned this team around from being the worst to the most improved team in all of professional sports. Our guest tonight was one of those key acquisitions because it was almost like college recruiting all over again. He visited places. He decided to become a Kansas City Chief. Our special guest tonight, number 55, Akeem Jordan. Welcome to the Kingdom. And let's start about your decision. Andy Reid decides to come to Kansas City. You're being recruited, essentially. Philadelphia wanted to keep you. Why did you come here?
I know Andy Reid. I've been playing with him my whole career, and I know he's a great coach. And when he asked me to come out here, I already knew that I wanted to be out here. So when he came out here and I seen the place, I seen the players, just the feeling I got when I walked in the locker room, I knew that this is the place I wanted to be.
This defense, when you came in here, I mean, people talked about the Pro Bowlers. You walk into a linebacker room, and there sits Pro Bowler Justin Houston and Tom Bahali, Pro Bowler Derek Johnson. What about those guys, but then now the addition of the new players, you and Coop, and you can go, I mean, Sean Smith, Mike DeVito, who've been added to the group. But let's take those guys. When you sat down with those guys when you first got here, what was going through your mind?
You know, they're all great players. You know, I seen them playing on TV when I was back in Philly, and just being able to be in the room with them is wonderful. And their style of play, how they play on the field, is just phenomenal. And I was like, I just want to be, you know, with them, see how they doing there, how they playing, what they go through each week, just to see how they prepare for the week.
And yet, all three of those have mentioned you as a key element from taking this defense to where it was to now where it is. And they give you tons of credit with that. So it's just like putting in pieces of a puzzle. It's like the last piece to fit in there was you. How much fun has it been playing defense on this team in Bob Sutton's scheme?
It's very fun. You know, we all out there, we having fun. Regardless of what's going on, we just try to have fun and cut it loose and be aggressive while we're doing it.
Well, how much fun was that yesterday? Now, you got to realize he's in the NFC East in his first stop. The Eagles don't like the Redskins much. I don't know if you knew that or not. So, and let's be honest. Let's just be honest, okay? Go back to 2012. Their season, the Redskins season, they won 7 straight to get to the playoffs, and RG3 kind of went off on you guys last year. That was Canada was coming out party a little bit, and they swept you. What about coming back in there yesterday and taking care of business?
I think we just on a mission as a Chief, that we just on a mission from here on out, just to get back on track and start winning. And I'm not really worried about what happened last year, what he did to us last year. We just knew what he wasn't going to do this year.
Okay. The other thing is you got to know, Akeem is from Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is just down the Shenandoah Valley. Now, how far is it from D.C.?
Hour 45.
So that's right there. How many tickets did you have to buy yesterday for friends and family?
Only about 15.
You got flights.
Yeah.
Suck Up even had like 30-something.
Yeah. Most of them came out here last week in Thanksgiving.
Oh, so they came out here with the family. All right, well, you used it up. That's good. Did you grow up a Redskins fan then? You're right there in the backyard.
No, actually, we didn't watch football growing up. We watched basketball. So it was all basketball, no football.
Wait a minute, stop. You didn't watch any football growing up?
Zero football.
Zero
I can't
football.
remember Super Bowl.
That's crazy. And they, okay, stop. Let's back up. 30-second timeout. Let me get my bearings straight. So what'd you watch? College ball? Basketball?
Basketball, college basketball, NBA. That's it. That
Who's your NBA team then?
The Bulls.
Let me ask that again. Who's your NBA team? So, not the Washington Capitals or whatever?
There was the Wizards back then.
Capitals, Hawks, okay, Wizards, something like that.
Yeah.
But they didn't like them?
Nah. My dad, he was a Bulls fan, and that's all we watched. He got a little package back in the day, and that's all we watched was the Bulls.
Just straight Bulls all over. So, who's better, Kobe or Jordan?
Today it would be Kobe. Back then it would be Michael. But then overall, I think Michael is the better player.
He had Pippen, though. You had to watch that when you were growing up in the heyday. We got some big Chicago dude that's here tonight, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Bears, Bulls, Cubs, all that. So he's into that. So anyway, all right. So you didn't watch any football growing up. Did you play football in the backyard? Did you, hey, it's Thanksgiving, dinner's over, what are we going to do, watch the Bulls? I mean, did you go, how'd you just turn into an instant football guy?
My dad put me in Pop Warner. I didn't like it. It was cold.
This was cold.
Yeah, I tried to quit.
How'd yesterday go for you?
Right. I tried to quit a couple times. My mom wanted me to quit. She didn't want me to get hurt. And my dad just made me keep doing it. And then by the time high school came along, I started to like it. So then it was more of like, what's next after high school? So then that's how I became.
I guess you liked it because you became one of the top players in the state of Virginia. I checked this out. And then you go to James Madison University.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to go far from home, did you?
Now across the street, a couple blocks away.
Was it sad for your folks? Did they cry when you went to school 2 blocks away?
Actually, my mom did.
It's 2 blocks away.
Right, that's what I told her. I said, you can see me anytime, like just come across the street.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. But you guys were good at James Madison. The Dukes, they're called. They play FCS or 1AA back in the day. You guys won a national championship.
Yeah, 2004.
Tell me how that worked.
Actually, we was pretty decent that year. Coming off a bad year the year before, we just started grinding, and we made it to the playoffs. So then it was like one game at a time in the playoffs, and we was on the road the whole time. Like we went to Pennsylvania, then we went to South Carolina, then we played. And
so you're on the road all these rounds?
Yeah.
Road. You didn't get any home games?
Nah. And then we went to Chattanooga to the championship, and we won.
Who'd you beat in the finals?
Montana.
Oh, they're good, the Grizzlies. Yeah. Wow, that's outstanding, national champion. So you got this winning. Then how do you get to the NFL?
Free agency.
Not drafted.
Not drafted. Free agency. Andy picked me up, and just worked my way. I was practice squad actually for half the year, my first year.
Wow. Anyway, for a guy that didn't watch football growing up, I think he's a pretty good football player. What about the Bulls now, man? Rose is out. What are you going to do? He keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, I thought we did pretty good last year without Rose.
So he'll be all right?
Yeah, they just got to learn how to be without him.
How many Bulls games have you seen in person in Chicago?
Not in Chicago. I seen a couple in Atlanta when they played the Hawks.
Okay. Go down and see the Bobcats. Go to Charlotte. That's not far. You can catch all those, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got a buddy. There's a buddy here tonight from Chicago. He'll get you Bulls tickets in Chicago.
Okay.
Hakeem Jordan is with us tonight. Outstanding linebacker of the Kansas City Chiefs. And we'll be back to talk about a big week because it's Raiders week. And he'll hold the hardware for the first time. We're at Dave & Buster's again near the Kansas Speedway. You can come out here on Sundays and watch football, $3.50 Bud Lights and $5 apps. We'll be back with more from Hakeem Jordan on the Kingdom after this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Some of the best teams in the world are in Kansas City. The Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting, and the Border Patrol.
The Border Patrol? St. John and Bucati? Those 2 guys couldn't hold on.
Easy there, fellas.
We may not be the 2 godfathers of Kansas City sports like you guys are,
But we do know how to have a good time talking sports.
and having a good time like Gary Lezak has a good time.
Make the Border Patrol a part of your morning, just like I do.
Watch Sports Radio 810's Border Patrol, weekday mornings from 7 to 8 on 38 The Spot.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let jazz cook for you?
Les bon ton roulé. Hey folks, Papa Vic here to talk about what's new at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. The economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall to come to Jazz, I guarantee. Don't forget, All I'm Here Tuesdays, where the best dish in KC is half price. Looking for live entertainment? Nobody in town plays more live music than Jazz. Check out our website, jazzkitchen.com, for daily band listings. Both locations, the original on 39th and State Line, and at the Legends in Village West. Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
Niall Davis skips over and short, then cuts back left. Touchdown! Kansas City! It's the first National Football League touchdown for Niall Davis. Yeah, heck yeah. Niall Davis was great on that, and it was I goofed that call off. He had the 108-yard kickoff return the week before, so yeah, that was his first scrimmage touchdown, but it was a terrific play. If you go back and look at the video, it was a big-time play. Again, this is our Midwest Sport Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. We're at Dave & Buster's in the Legends area just across from the Kansas Speedway. Our special guest tonight, Akeem Jordan, linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, number 55. All right, before we go on with Akeem, we remind you that our show is also seen on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. It's time now for our Time Warner Cable Turning Point play of the game. And again, the Chiefs were on the cusp of setting NFL records for return yardage yesterday. Some key plays, but this one was a big turning point play. Dexter McCluster backs up, takes it into the zone, 25. We think he gets two blocks. He's up the right sideline. He gets another. They block Rotka. McCluster cuts it back up the sideline. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Kansas City. 72-yard punt return. Dexter McCluster, touchdown. 74 yards to be specific in the snow. 60-yard punt return earlier than if not a touchdown. He set the Chiefs single game record for punt return yardage by halftime. It was nuts. And we had the NFL record sitting there with the toe board getting ready. And what people don't realize, and I don't give it enough of attention and should have mentioned it more, was when I watch it on tape, one of the key blocks thrown on all those returns was by number 55, Akeem Jordan. Set us up on these punt returns, and what's your responsibility, what happened, what's going through your mind, and walk us through it.
I think just as a core of special teams, we're ranked number 4 in the league, and we want to be ranked number 1, everybody. So we went out there Sunday with the mission of being number 1, and that means everybody has to get their blocks. Everybody has to give all the effort they got in their body just to get to number 1, because number 1 is hard to get to because we had a block punt early in the season. So we focused this week. Everybody was running, practicing, learning their assignments, and then it was showtime on Sunday.
Well, was it showtime? I'm glad we all had a good look at it. Interesting tonight, the Irish Brigade was here. They're here. The McGowans were here, but one of the youth football guys, Sean McGowan, he made a key block. I saw him play a game that ignited a guy for a kick return. If you don't make your block, when I watched it on video, if you kind of lit the fuse, one of your blocks was so important, it kind of goes sequentially, but if you don't get what you are supposed to do when I watch the return, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, when we watched the film, we were saying a couple weeks back, we always one block away, and we hated that feeling of just being one block away. You know, one cut, one block away. So everybody just focused in this week and just got their blocks.
That's terrific. I'm going to ask you about Dave Tobe and being coached on special teams. Special friend tonight is a big Bears fan, so we ripped off Tobe from the Bears. But what about him and what he has meant to you guys in teams?
He's meant a lot. I mean, just as coaching, how he gets everybody wanting to play, how he's pushing everybody to their full potential. And if you make a mistake, he knows that you're going to make mistakes. But he wants you to get better, wants you to practice harder. Because most of the stuff that you do in the games, you probably done in practice. So it's just about tuning it up in practice.
It's impressive to watch it. It's just schematically, and then to see execution, just been so explosive in the special teams game. Now, just to remind you, I know it's your first year here, we're in the red, white, and gold, but this is kind of a big week because it's Raiders week. Where's Big Daddy? Anyway, to play the Raiders, chance to sweep them. I mean, we talked about the old division foes, and you didn't like the Redskins much, or the Cowboys, or the Giants. Now, what about a chance to sweep the Raiders? And what about playing these guys again? Because there's a battle here. Terrell Pryor was playing most of the time. Now McGloin's playing quite a bit for them. What about the Raiders?
Like I said, we're on a mission. So we got 3 more games, regular season games. We're going to try to win all 3 games. So they just the next game, and this week, the divisional rivals. So, I mean, we already know what this state.
Have you ever played them out there before? Did you play them in Philly? Out of Oakland?
I think I played them twice out there.
Okay. Because they're a little bit of an interesting group, you know. The black hole and all that. Yeah. Ask B-Flow Flowers about the black hole and his interception there to give him the double guy. All right. Now, this is the most important piece of hardware in the entire Chiefs kingdom. Because you guys, as a defense yesterday, they tried to get Morris going. That didn't work. RG3 couldn't work. Pierre Gosson didn't work. Because you guys were able to do this. Now, being on the Kingdom Show, it is time. It's Raiders week. It's time to sweep the Raiders. It's time for Akeem Jordan, number 55, and everybody else to put the hammer down, baby. See how good that feels?
Yeah.
It's like cleansing. You know, it's just like that.
I want to take this on Sunday.
Yeah. You know what? You go ahead and take it. I don't think there'd be a fine or anything.
Put it in my sock.
Yeah, we'll do that. Queen of Hearts or Snowstorm Sandy, they'll pay the fine anyway. We'll do that. Anyway, it's awesome to have you here. We're going to come back and close out the show in just a little bit with Akeem. But anyway, to close in on 10 wins and to see listen, it was not very good here, man. Last year was bleak, 2-14. But to see the culture change, what was it like for you to see all this happen?
Like I said before, it was a good feeling in the locker room before, at the beginning of the season. How hard everybody worked in the off season, in OTAs and training camp, and just the family feeling you get that everybody wants to win. Now, who's doing what? Who's getting the most? Pub. We're winning.
All right, Akeem Jordan with us again. This is our Midwest Sport Leaders Chiefs Kingdom Show. Got to wrap things up from here, Dave and Buster. After this, you're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football.
Some of the best teams in the world are in Kansas City. The Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting, and the Border Patrol.
The Border Patrol? St. John and Bucati? Those 2 guys couldn't hold on.
Easy there, fellas.
We may not be the 2 godfathers of Kansas City sports like you guys are,
But we do know how to have a good time talking sports.
and having a good time like Gary Lezak has a good time.
Make the Border Patrol a part of your morning, just like I do.
Watch Sports Radio 810's Border Patrol, weekday mornings from 7 to 8 on 38 The Spot.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let jazz cook for you?
Laissez les bon temps rouler. Hey folks, Papa Vic here to talk about what's new at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. The economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall to come to Jazz, I guarantee. Don't forget, All I'm Here Tuesdays, where the best dish in KC is half price. Looking for live entertainment? Nobody in town plays more live music than Jazz. Check out our website, jazzkitchen.com, for daily band listings. Both locations, the original on 39th and State Line, and at the Legends in Village West. Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
Touchdown! Kansas City! The Chiefs melt the snow for just a moment and find the sweet nectar of the end zone to take a two-possession lead at 5:52 to go in the first quarter.
Nothing like the sweet nectar of the end zone to color the snow and melt it down there a little bit as the Chiefs jumped on top of the Redskins by a score of 31-0, going to win 45-10. And this week, of course, it's Raiders week. Hakeem Jordan with us as we close out the show. I've got to ask you what it's like to play defense at Arrowhead Stadium with all of these fans going nuts.
It's crazy. That's the first time I ever had to run up to a defensive lineman and tell him left or right call, or EB or Kendrick coming down to tell me what the coverages is. So it's like we look at hand signaling. It's bananas out there, and I know it is hard for a quarterback to relay it to his receivers. So, I mean, I love it.
Do you look in the eyes of those offensive guys, or what are the linemen doing? I mean, is it kind of chaotic for them?
Yeah, it's almost you had to scream in each other's ear just to hear what you're saying. So it's crazy. That's why we had to do hand signals. It's like I still can't hear you.
It is so phenomenal to see that happen. And, of course, one more game on the road against the Raiders, then back to host the Colts the following week. But the tradition of defense, too, in Kansas City, it's kind of fun when you walk into our practice facility and all the Hall of Fame guys are lined up there. But when you see guys like Bobby Bell and Willie Lanier and Pro Football Hall of Famers that wear that uniform that you wear, what feeling goes through you with that?
I mean, it's tremendous. I mean, words can't even explain. Just seeing some of the stuff on the highlight reels at the wins is just crazy.
So it's just putting on that red after the years of putting on the green, putting that red on. It's pretty cool, huh?
I mean, there's so much history, especially when you walk in. Like you said, when you walk in, it's like I didn't see that in Philly. You know, you see all the Pro Bowlers on it with the history. You know, that's what gets you going.
Well, what gets you and me both going are all these fans like they're here tonight. And we appreciate all of them, and we appreciate you for making the decision to come here, man. This is good stuff. Number 55, ladies and gentlemen, linebacker Hakeem Jordan, part of the NFL's best defense. And it's a big week. It's Raiders week. The Chiefs need to sweep the Raiders. Next week, we will be at Gaslight Grill. That'll be back down in Leawood, 135th-ish. Down in there, we will have Kendrick Lewis, guy that sits back there on the defense and free safety. He'll be our guest next week as we'll celebrate a win over the Raiders and be in the playoffs after this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let jazz good for you?
Laissez les bon temps rouler. Hey folks, Papa Vic here to talk about what's new at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen. The economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall to come to Jazz, I guarantee. Don't forget, All I'm Here Tuesdays, where the best dish in KC is half price. Looking for live entertainment? Nobody in town plays more live music than Jazz. Check out our website, jazzkitchen.com, for daily band listings. Both locations, the original on 39th and State Line, and at the Legends in Village West. Jazz, where there's always a party every night.